Greetings, this is Mark Ray. Welcome to episode 1 of Northern Sulphuric Soulboy. Excerpts taken from my forthcoming book and album. In this series I'll be taking a look back at my journey through the music industry, from early beginnings in Newcastle to the creation of the foundation in Manchester, where Fat City and Grand Central Records were born. But first, let me rewind that cassette and we can go back into time. The roots begin in Newcastle. It's possible that it could have started in 1979 when I won the school disco dancing competition. The prize was a pristine 7-inch copy of Otto Wan's Disco.
Go on, man, Mark, man. Go on, look at what he's done to the ferret. I think he's gonna win, like.
The tune, redolent with flute-driven lyrical whimsy, didn't stand a chance of being spun on the home stereo at the time. The anthem in the lounge was Donna Summer's I Feel Love. Falling asleep most nights to the futuristic disco of Giorgio Moroder must have planted some kind of seed. Shall I work for the council serving noise pollution notices? Is that my future playing out below me? Not likely. Struggling with an early interest in arson, I was also sure to be wondering if I would get caught for setting the local pub on fire, as I had done several times earlier in the week. But aside from the random school dance triumph, my only experiences of the dynamism of the dance floor were on summer holidays. The 70s working class invasion of southern Spain was in full swing, and with tourists eager to find somewhere to shed the excess skin so lovingly burnt to a tender during the day, the hotel disco was born.
Okay, you take the fruit, you put the fruit between your legs, and you move around, pass it around, everyone, come on. Yes, lie on the floor, put the crisps on the floor. Crisps on your belly, put the crisps on your belly, eat from the crisp belly, please, yeah.
It wasn't long before Santa delivered me the next piece in my formative musical jigsaw. A Binatone tape machine radio combo in all its black plastic button glory. Ordered, no doubt, from Kay's catalogue, like almost everything was in our house. My first cassette album came with it, The Barren Nights, A Taste of Aggro, featuring classics such as Get Down Shep, which was an ode to the Blue Peter Dog of the time, and Boy Scouts Out Camping, sang to the tune of Uptown Top Ranking by Althea and Donna. Take that rubbish off, cried my Uncle Michael, a naval officer who had spent the previous 3 months sat at the bottom of a Russian harbour in a submarine as the Cold War raged on. I soon realised I could tape the radio and, like most kids, would nab the whole of the top 40 every Sunday tea time. The process of editing out the DJ's voice with the pause button was my first interaction with the concept of physically controlling music. Having to guess when the DJ was about to talk, hoping to get as much of the track and as little of him as possible, was a nerve-wracking job that required seance levels of predictability. The simultaneous pressing of the play and record button, interspersed with the pause button, induced a mild euphoria, and thus my journey as a music manipulator had begun. It was around this time that the cassette was seen as a direct threat to the music industry's income, and so record labels, fearing a drop in sales, countered with their slightly disturbing "home taping is killing music" logo, a phrase framed with a skull and crossbones and printed on the inner sleeves of the vinyl releases of the time. The industry would have to wait 30 years before that premonition came home to roost. My first foray into a record shop yielded 2 purchases: Gary Newman and the Tubeway Army's Our Friends Electric, and the Dickies Banana Split song. The 70s were now drawing to a close. Punk was mutating, skinheads were circulating, and ska ruled the charts. It was important to spit at least every 2 minutes, and if you could manage that, you might be allowed to wear a long black Crombie jacket with the inside lining of the breast pocket turned out, rather like a protruding red tongue. During a visit to a joke shop in the Handyside Arcade in Newcastle, I toyed with the idea of buying an adamant-styled military jacket, but sadly the money I'd saved up for fart powder and stick-on warts just wouldn't stretch that far. A lucky escape, really, because in that get-up, the skinheads would have surely annihilated me. The family was about to move from Europe's biggest new town, Cramlington, to a village near Newcastle Airport called Ponteland. My mother's health was deteriorating and we needed a bungalow to accommodate her needs. As well as that, the more aggressive spectrum of the Geordie dialect had been fermenting in my vocabulary. The shouts of "Who are man? Come on there, old chap, and divn't do that. Please refrain from continuing with that behaviour," had been heard cascading from my mouth, and the opportunity for an improved level of free schooling was within reach, only 10 miles away. I settled into my new home fast. Skateboarding and the Dead Kennedys proved to be the key to attracting like-minded friends, while an obsession with drumming, based around the skills of Neil Peart of Rush, spread like a disease, and everyone got drum kits. I managed to source one solitary Boys Brigade marching tom. I tied it to my bedroom radiator, then promptly thrashed all the paint off both parts of my ensemble. This would be my only musical instrument, if you could even call it that. It was more akin to a medieval audio weapon of war. I had avoided learning anything musical in Cramlington, unless it was thumping through my bedroom floor from the lounge below, and made my band debut in the middle of Ponteland Middle School's Harvest Celebration recital. Surrounded by hundreds of children with recorders, I sat in the middle with no instrument, holding a tin of beans, and worked the crowd with a smile. My only other memory of school music lessons would be when the little blonde boy sitting next to me in class burst into tears when the teacher played a few notes on a glockenspiel. He said it reminded him of his cat dying. Together, the power of 70s Spanish hotel discos and the tears of a classmate would form the cornerstone of my life's passion, getting people to move to emotive music. You've been listening to episode 1 of Northern Sulphuric Soulboy. Excerpts taken from my book and album, out on Bandcamp, at the Tate and Piccadilly Records. It covers beginnings in the 70s, all the way through to Manchester, the street soul scene, Fat City Records, Grand Central, Rain Christian and Yes King. The rise and fall of a music scene.